We're back at the table at Orson Gygi, which means we're going to dive deep and have some casual conversations because it's our favorite thing to do.
Yeah, we love talking.
Yes, as we're wrapping up the Gygi chocolate extravaganza, our biggest focus and one of our favorite parts, there's of course the sales, the giveaways, all those things, but the classes is really where we love to share and love to connect and gather together. And because this year's going to be a little bit different, we still want to share that connection and that fun.
Yeah.
This is a very special, momentous occasion because this is the 4th year that we have been able to welcome Courtney to the classes. I mean, we were doing this is now our 11th year, and to imagine this is only the 4th year with you, it feels
that's crazy.
So crazy.
Crazy. It's like gone so fast, but at the same time, it feels like it's been forever.
I honestly look at it and think of you grew up with us.
Yeah.
You have been through so much with us. But looking back at the last 4 years, it's fun to look at some of the adventures that we've been on.
Oh my gosh. It's been wild. We've
grown
so much together, not just like the cakes that we're doing and the class itself, because we've put so much into designing and developing our class based on like the first one, and then how do we just make it more seamless and more enjoyable for everyone, and how do we just bring everyone together, and all the little things that we do in class and the way that we have it set up. Like it took time to do that, and now it feels like it runs like a well-oiled machine.
Yes.
But it took some time to figure out our group.
Well, absolutely. And we started the first class as a demonstration class with the extravaganza. And I think the craziest part about it is that we both walked away minutes from ending that class realizing this had to be a hands-on experience.
Yes, absolutely.
Demonstration classes are great. It helps us to allow the masses to come in and to feel a part of it, but there's a very special feeling that we have been able to develop in a hands-on class.
Yeah. There's a connection you make there that even while you meet people at the demonstration classes, or you communicate on the screen, and that's amazing, and I love that technology allows us to do that.
Yes.
Being together in a classroom for 3 hours and working on something start to finish, one, there's such a great sense of accomplishment for, I think, the students, but then the connection that we build as we get to know each other, right?
Yes.
There's the talking in between every little thing, and helping, and what do you love about cakes, and we're figuring out what kind of cakes people like to make. The interaction there and the way that we're able to connect is priceless.
There's a few consistent elements that we have. There's you, there's us, there's cake. But the surprising thing that happens with every single hands-on class is the connection and the people that show up. And we oftentimes we sit around and talk after a class, and we talk about the people and the stories from you as you have come into the class and shared just intimate, special moments with us.
Like why they're there, why the kitchen matters, why we love to bake. And I think what's amazing about it is that our experiences and our reasons why we love to be in the kitchen are different, but they're relatable. We understand, right? We come together and we're united in that room because we love to bake. We love to be in the kitchen. We love to share that with people. We like the memories we're creating. We like to be creative. We like to escape. Right, and these are all relatable elements in our lives, and to feel that unity and that connection for a few hours is amazing. We have people come in that come to class by themselves, and all of a sudden they leave with this group of friends that they've made and experiences, and to hear people's stories about why they came to class and how they even got there and where they came from. It's humbling.
It is, and I think cake obviously gets them in the door, or the subject from a class matter gets them in the door, but what we pride ourselves on and the ability to build those connections. I remember a lady who had come from California. She's like, I came specifically to come to Courtney's classes, but I have to tell you, I travel around the state, I travel around the country taking cooking classes, and there was a feeling in this class that I've never been able to feel somewhere else, and it gives us that strength because these classes are hard.
Yeah.
This takes a lot of time away from our families. It takes a lot of time away to prepare all these things. I mean, you look at all the cakes, the frosting, the concepts that it takes to come up with these, but hearing those things where, she's like, I felt something, I had a connection, it makes every second of what we do worth it.
Right. I absolutely agree. And if we can provide that moment for someone, an escape, because I think you and I relate that way, but that's why I started baking, was to escape a lot of things and to find something for myself to fill a void I didn't know that I was missing. And baking became my safe place. It became my sanctuary. The kitchen was where I felt the most peace and light and joy. And after that first cake I made for my son 10.5 years ago, I remember thinking, I want to feel that way again. It was an addictive feeling. It was this good feeling. And I just found myself getting into the kitchen as much as I could, being in a happy place, right? And filling that void and that emptiness for other reasons that I was having. And oddly enough, baking saved me in so many ways. And it's changed who I am as a person and the way that I look at myself and I look at life and I look at other people, because now I just want to share that. It's not just about the recipes,
no.
But I know what being in the kitchen means to me, what it meant to me growing up with my family before my parents got divorced, and now what it means to me with my kids, because that's what they're going to remember. And I know that in the kitchen is where I can provide that memory. Yeah, maybe we can read books in our bedroom, but the kitchen is where I'm either baking and they're doing homework, or we're doing it together and we're laughing and we turn on music and we start dancing, or we spill something and it's my moment to say, it's okay, it's an accident. Right? Like all these opportunities, it feels sacred.
And who would have thought that it would start with cake? Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
Looking back at what Weston's first birthday cake, who would have thought that this could have been?
And I never thought it was a skill of mine or a hobby. Like I loved art. I was in journalism. I was in media consulting. And never in my mind did I leave college with my degree thinking I was going to be sharing cake recipes on Instagram and social media, that would be a thing. But it was just, I'm going to start this one thing. I'm going to try it out because I think it would be fun. It was fun. And then it was like the continued effort in like good things, right? I wanted more of that goodness I felt. So I just kept following that path.
Yes.
For no other reason than selfishly, it made me feel good. It made me feel so good. And then I want other people to feel that way. And that's how I started my Instagram.
And I think I can say, and for so many people, we're so grateful that you did, because it's brought a light to so many of us, but also given us a reason to just celebrate the special occasions, because sometimes those are the things that we oftentimes will overlook. As we've experienced 4 years of cake and doing things, I think we have also learned some very serious life lessons along with cake. I think one that sticks out to me the most, that really I think cemented you into our family, was we had a major glitch in our signups, and we were offering classes for 4 months at a time, realizing that Courtney's schedule, I think at the time you were still doing your media consulting.
I was doing a little consulting, still.
And so realizing that she's got kids, she's a wife, she's doing all these things, and our system overloaded classes by hundreds of people. And we were joking about it. I Marco Poloed her with my robe, oh my gosh, Courtney, how are we gonna do this? And with no hesitation whatsoever, we've got to do it. We've got to still offer it. And we were able to figure out a schedule that actually has stuck with us when we're offering classes. But to me, it showed that your dedication to this was, we've got to help them. We've got to do this. Because you could have easily said, sorry, you got to cancel that. I can't do it. Because your schedule was so busy. And so it just spoke to my heart. It spoke to the Orson Gygi inside of me that was we have to take care of that customer.
We got to make it work.
Yes. And I just think, those students who were part of that will probably always cherish that and remember that. She made it work. And I think was it at Christmas time?
Yes, it was right before Christmas that we were selling the classes. So it was for January, February, March, April. And I just couldn't imagine saying, sorry, you can't come to class, but we'll make it work. I think I've learned that from my parents, right? You make things work and you figure it out.
Yes.
And we added lots more classes, so many more classes.
I think we saw each other more that month than we saw our husbands.
Absolutely. But we made it work. It also meant that there was more opportunities to meet people and have a connection and just have some of those special moments and stories and relationships that we wouldn't have had otherwise. So
absolutely,
it worked out.
It's taken us to many places throughout the country. We've held classes in Texas. We had San Antonio.
How about I'm coming in? I'm so you want to take the show on the road? Where
absolutely.
Could we go?
Dallas, San Antonio, and New York. Which we had amazing experiences through all of those that have taught us that we can honestly whip up 100 and something cakes in 4 hours in a small
in the Neiman Marcus kitchen of Hudson Yards in New York at 5 a.m. in the morning. And we got it done in like 2 hours before. We've
never been able to do that before.
No, things sometimes work out perfectly, and our cakes delivered and traveled great to Texas when we did our classes, but they didn't to New York, and we found out last minute, and we made it work because we just, how can we not just have cake, right? We wanted to make it worth here's the thing, at the end of the day, like when everyone signs up and all of a sudden it's overloaded, I appreciate that commitment from them so much. I don't want to let them down.
100%.
And same when it happened in New York, and I don't want to let them down.
And I think this is the perfect segue to talk about like right now what's happening with our classes.
Yeah.
We want to be in the kitchen doing these classes more than you could ever imagine. We talk, I think, weekly about how it's left a hole in our hearts right now, and it's been something that we've really been missing and want to have. But
here's the thing. Every state's been really different right now. Mm-hmm. And I know that in Utah, we could probably have a small class. Mm-hmm. We could wear our mask and we could have a small class. I don't know why I'll get emotional about this. I don't want to post that and have someone in California or New York or wherever you are watch it and just even say, I want to be able to do, I can't even do that. Like, I don't want those negative feelings through the other side of the camera. I want you to be able to watch and say, I can't wait to do that when I'm able to get out there, right? Then rather than feel resentful because we shouldn't be doing it or whatever. And of course, I want to keep people safe and healthy, but I just always want that feeling in our class to be a positive one. Whether you're there in the class or you're watching through a screen, I want you to feel the goodness that comes from the amazing people that are in class, right?
Yes.
And hidden from a mask sometimes, and you can't see that. But that really has been, and when I first brought that up, you were like, that's literally what I was thinking too. It's more about just want to make sure we maintain that good, happy feeling in class.
Well, and I think as we have created our content for classes, the recipe, the actual like things that we're making are a part of it, but there's so much more that is involved when we build a connection and we build these feelings. And as we've tried to kind of do that right now, we just have felt like it's missing. Yeah. And we don't want to offer a class that we feel was like, it wasn't as good as what I thought it was going to be, because we know how important those connection parts. And so we are still working on it. We have no intentions of not doing it. We actually have some major plans for when it's going to happen, and it may look a little different, but we promise you when it does open up, the connection, the feeling, the love,
the experience
that we've been doing will all be there.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
We have no doubt about it.
Yeah,
so
it'll be there.
Until then, we're going to have virtual classes through the extravaganza. You can always pick up Courtney's classes online, which your courses are amazing.
Thank you.
I feel like we should almost have that as like a pre-course to our regulars, just so you have an understanding. But until then, that will hold you over, I promise. Courtney offers so much through that.
Well, there's three classes now. So you have a beginner's class, which is a lot like what we do in the class here. Then you have a next level class. So that one is going to be like wedding cakes and how are we stacking tiered cakes and 6 layered cakes, and how do we paint with buttercream? How are we cutting cakes? How are we charging? If you are starting to sell your cakes, what's the right way to price a cake and cut the cake and serve the cake and travel with the cake? So there's like this whole next level element going on. And then the new class is a chocolate lovers class, which is very fitting for this event. And 3 brand new recipes that are exclusive to that class. So they won't be on my blog. They're exclusive to that. Lava cakes, chocolate, cheesecake cupcakes, and a new brand new Twix cake.
Twix cake.
And you have that, but also one of the things I love about the online class is then you're invited into the Cake Class community on Facebook, and we have a Facebook group. And I'll go on and do a monthly live, and then you have this community of people that are helping you. It's not even about me getting on there. No. I go on and read everyone's supportive and helpful comments to each other. Someone posts a question, you've got this thing, and I've heard time and time again how much people love that group, and it's one of their favorite things about doing the class, because now there's this new community, kind of like you get when you leave class at Orson Gygi.
Yeah. You've got all your new friends that you can ask those little questions as you experience in the kitchen.
It's really fun.
Well, you're doing great things.
We'll be back soon.
Yes. thank you for being a part of our extravaganza this year. We cherish the classes, we cherish the connection, and hope to see you in your kitchens as well. So, bye.